Alright, so this is going to be my first impressions for Assassin's Creed Shadows. What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for stopping by. Now, a little bit of context. I was excited for this game. I've been looking out for it, and I'm a fan of Assassin's Creed. Not so much with the recent ones. I think the last one that I really enjoyed was Origins, and then I kind of took a break from Assassin's Creed after that. Didn't really like Valhalla. Odyssey, I was at that point kind of burnt out. Didn't play Mirage. So really, the last Assassin's Creed that I played, beat, platinumed, loved was Origins. I really loved Egypt. I loved the character Bayek. I really loved what they were doing in that game. Really enjoyed that game. So that's kind of where I'm at with Assassin's Creed. I have pretty much voiced my opinion in the past with things that I've wanted to see improvements with the series. I do like the open world, more RPG, scale of the Assassin's Creed, but I've always had a problem with the combat or the lack of, quality in the combat, especially when you have games like Ghost of Tsushima, even Sekiro, where the combat in those games are just flawless and executed on a level that I would really love to see Assassin's Creed at least get close to one day. But they have improved the combat in Shadows. It is much better than it was before, in my opinion, but I do think that, there is still a level of jank. There is still a level of polish and quality that I think would really improve the game if they just kind of focus a little bit more on those things, just because I think combat is probably my biggest gripe at this point with the game. There are other areas of the game that I do wish it could get improved on. There are some things in the game that I just feel like are really outdated, and if you enjoy Assassin's Creed, especially the more recent ones, if you enjoy those games, then you're going to enjoy this. If you like, uncovering the map and going and taking down a fortress and kind of the more mundane, in my opinion, gameplay, then you're gonna enjoy this, man. It's a new setting, new characters, and I do like the shinobi and samurai contrast between the two characters. It's just really the combat, in my opinion, that it's already getting a little old, if I'm being quite honest with you. And, it's still pretty early on. This is a first impressions. I've put a couple of hours in the game right now. It might get better as I unlock more things, as I move along throughout the story in the game. But, as my first impressions, there's things that I've enjoyed, like visually, graphically, this game is really, really impressive. This is the best Assassin's Creed game that they've ever made. It's another reason why you should maybe go out and get a PlayStation 5 Pro if you're thinking about it. The PlayStation 5 Pro has been a console that, at first I was like, man, is this console worth it? I probably should have just kept, my PlayStation 5. I think that was, enough. But as we started to see more games come along, like, the more recent one is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. The fact that that game looks the way it does and it plays on the PlayStation 5 Pro, it's really amazing. And it's made me realize, like, yeah, this validates my purchase of the Pro. And, it makes me realize how beefy and powerful this console is. And if you have the base PlayStation 5, I think you're fine as well. The Pro really shines with these newer games. I think it's definitely, showing its potential and its power. Testing Assassin's Creed Shadows on the PlayStation 5 Pro, I can tell you right now that, the game just looks absolutely stunning in performance mode and balance mode and quality mode, all of that stuff. I've switched between all of them. I usually play in performance mode, and that's enough. The game is beautiful, it's pretty, and it runs very well. Honestly, when it comes to like the side quests and the open world nature, there are times where I do feel like it's a little boring, if I'm being honest. And again, this game might hit some people, and this is just exactly what they're looking for and they're asking for. For me, I feel like, and this is probably echoing some other people out there, but I feel like I've seen this and done this plenty of times now. And I don't know if it's because, you know, I'm still playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And, you know, like I've said in previous videos about that game, the bar that set for me personally, you know, and then playing a game like this, you know, the immersion and the level of detail and, you know, what I get out of that game is just on a different level, man. And then you play something like this and you kind of want more. And then you realize like this game, this formula hasn't really evolved too much. You know, they've tweaked a few things here and there. And, you know, you don't have a bird flying around anymore to target enemies. You have this, you know, if you hit L2, you kind of zoom in a little bit and you're able to pick out enemies or, you know, identify, you know, where like stashes are and stuff like that. I do like that. It's a nice little touch. It changes things up. It you know, it shakes things up a little bit. You know, I haven't gotten too far into the story, but, you know, the prologue is pretty long, a lot of cutscenes, and, you know, I guess it's really hard for me to care about what's going on, and maybe it's still a little early, but, you know, the characters that I've met, the side quests that I've done, and kind of the main story, maybe a little early right now to really give you my full opinion, but, you know, I'm just kind of going through the motions. The world is beautiful, exploring the world, you know, I do love the, you know, the points where you climb and then you dive. I've always appreciated that. You know, there are things in this game that I do appreciate. And, you know, a test for me personally is like when I put a lot of hours into a game at first, then turn it off, and then how do I feel about the game when I'm not playing it after those first initial thoughts? Do I think about it? Do I want to get back into the game? Do I miss it? Do I want to play the game more? And I'm kind of in the middle with this one. It's kind of weird. Like, I do find myself coming back to the game because there are good things about the game. I don't think the game is bad or terrible, but at this point, I kind of want a little bit more from Assassin's Creed. I really want to see this game evolve. And I feel like it's still in that place where I just feel like I've done this many times. Like, I've put, I think, over 100 hours in Origins. I platinumed it. I did everything in that game, absolutely everything, all the expansions. And I feel like, you know, I walked away with an amazing experience. I remember gushing about Origins, and when Odyssey came out, I feel like, you know, I did this. I did this with Origins, and I've gotten my fill from the game. So I never beat Odyssey, even though I put like a pretty good chunk in it. And then I played Valhalla, and I was like, you know, at this point, I played other games where the combat was much better, and Valhalla was the game that I just couldn't stick with at all. Like, I remember dropping it very, very quick, even though I think the whole Viking setting was really, really cool on paper. And now, fast forward to now, like, we have the Japanese setting, which I think is always awesome. But maybe, you know, we've seen too many games do the Japanese, you know, setting at this point, at, you know, this time period and everything. And I go back to Ghost of Tsushima, and I try not to, but when it comes to the combat, what that game was able to do and achieve, it really set the bar in terms of, you know, open world, this style of game, and what that game did with combat was so amazing. Like, changing stances, being able to like fight dudes who have shields, who have staffs, you know, changing your stances. The story was amazing, the visuals, and, you know, it was set in Japan. Comparing the combat from Ghost of Tsushima to Shadows, and it's a stark difference. Like, it's a night and day difference. The quality in the combat with Shadows, I feel like, is just, it's not there, man. It's janky. It's all over the place. It's very messy. And there are times where it does feel, you know, it feels good, or it feels passable. It feels okay. And then there's other times where it feels like such a mess. I know I'm focusing a lot on the combat in this video, but that is really what I've what I'm judging, I think, the game the most on, just because I feel like the combat is going to be the most important thing when it comes to this game. You know, I don't think people really play these games for the story alone. The stories never really capture me, you know, the characters and all that stuff. It's really the adventure, the exploring, the combat is really, I think, the highlight of these games. And again, you know, some of the things that this game does are good. It's just not great. Not something that I go, wow, you know, this is it. This is game of the year material. I'm not blown away. That's kind of really where I sit with Shadows. I'm enjoying it for what it is right now. I don't know if I'm gonna keep playing it or beat it. We'll see. There's a lot of games coming out this year. This is a pretty big game, you know, open world. And I'm still playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I have 100 hours in that game, and that game has just blown me away on so many levels. You know, maybe coming from Kingdom Come to this, the issues and, you know, some of the things are really highlighted here. You know, that's really my opinion, man, when it comes to Assassin's Creed at this point. If you're enjoying the game, man, more power to you. I'm happy for you. Like I said, I do think this game is doing some cool things. If you want more of the more recent Assassin's Creed, this is it, man. This is more of that, you know, with tweaking some things, but overall, I would say the majority of the gameplay is here. You know, if you liked Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla, this is it. This is more of that. But if you're looking for something a little bit deeper, a little bit more, I don't think you're going to find that here. I think you're going to feel a little disappointed when it comes to that department. That's just my opinion, man. Assassin's Creed Shadows, my first impressions of the game. Kind of just wanted to get on here and talk about the game and just lay it all out, man. If I keep playing, I'll come back probably for a second impressions. And who knows, man, maybe I will find myself enjoying the game a little bit more than I am right now. But those are my thoughts on Assassin's Creed Shadows. Let me know what you think. Are you enjoying the game? Are you playing the game? Are you burnt out from Assassin's Creed, you know, the franchise? Let me know. Put it down in the comments below. I love reading those things. But that's pretty much the video, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you liked it, hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel, man. And if you are, I appreciate you. You guys take it easy and peace.